You know the type. The boss who acts like every idea was his. The kind who smiles in your face and stabs you in the back during the company meeting. This is the story of how I got even with that kind of man. Not with shouting or drama, but with patience, planning, and perfect timing. I joined the company full of ambition. I wasn't chasing promotions, just wanted to do good work and earn respect. My job? Digital strategy for a mid-sized firm. My boss? Brent, loud, charming, always with a buddy-buddy smile. At first, he seemed harmless, but little things started piling up. He'd tweak my work just before sending it to clients. Later, he started presenting it as his own. At team meetings, I noticed something. When I talked, Brent barely looked up. But when he said something I had suggested days earlier, everyone nodded like it was brilliant. That's when I realized I was being erased. The final straw came during a big quarterly pitch. I worked day and night perfecting our client strategy, custom research, market segmentation, everything. Brent asked for my deck to review. Next thing I know, he presents it to the board and calls it his personal initiative. I wasn't even in the room. When I confronted him quietly, he shrugged and said, "You're young. You'll get your turn." That's when something in me switched. No more warnings. No more waiting. I started digging, quietly, carefully. I downloaded copies of every shared file. I kept screenshots of Slack threads. I checked email timestamps. I documented everything. I even started shadow-saving versions of my presentations before he could edit them. Then I started talking. Not loudly, just enough. I hinted to a few trusted colleagues about the inconsistencies in Brent's work. I let small truths leak, like smoke before a fire. Some of them started to notice. One even said, "Hey, didn't you make that report Brent presented?" Now it was time to act. Brent got cocky, maybe because he'd gotten away with it for so long. We had a new client pitch, a massive opportunity. He told me not to worry, that he'd handle it. I pretended to agree, but behind the scenes, I created a second, better proposal, one that actually addressed the client's needs. 2 days before the meeting, I sent it anonymously to the client contact, along with a short note. If you're serious about growth, ask your consultant why his slides still have data from last quarter. The meeting was a disaster for Brent. Halfway through, the client interrupted and asked about the outdated stats. Brent stuttered. Then the client asked, "Is this your original work?" Brent froze. That was it. The deal was paused, and questions started flying. Within 48 hours, HR was digging through everything. That's when I dropped the final piece, a perfectly organized folder of evidence sent anonymously to the board. Every file, timestamp, and message that proved he had been stealing work for months, maybe years. Brent didn't show up to work the next day, or the day after. A week later, the company made a quiet announcement. Leadership restructuring. Brent was gone. No farewell, no statement. Just wiped from the website. And then came the offer. The board wanted someone to step up. I played it humble. "If you think I'm ready." They gave me his role, his office, even his clients. Only now I had one rule: no stolen credit. Ever. Sometimes I walk into that office, sit at his old desk, and smile. Not because I got revenge, but because I took everything he valued without raising my voice once. They say success is the best revenge. I disagree. Letting someone destroy themselves with your silence? That's better. Brent taught me one thing. If someone builds a throne out of lies, all it takes is one truth to bring it crashing down.